This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Little Fish Theater for their presentation of Sleuth. Hi, this is Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Jim Rice. I'm the director of Sleuth.
So question, why did you decide on this piece?
Well, it became available, and I'm a great fan of mysteries. So the opportunity to work on, which is one of the classic mysteries, was a great challenge.
This one seemed more than just a mystery. I love the dialogue in it. I just love the exposition and all the topics.
Well, yeah, that's the real value of this one. It's certainly not a whodunit. But the language is so tightly written, you get involved in the relationship between these two guys, so that you're distracted from the plot that's moving forward. So it's a real balancing act. It's quite nice.
Yeah. It actually reminded me a lot of Oscar Wilde.
Yeah, sure. It's the English tradition of language. It's Anthony Schaeffer who wrote it. Of a family of playwrights, right? It's out of the Schaeffer family we get Amadeus as well, which is the same hallmark of great language.
So one of your jobs as a director, the hardest job is actually casting. What do you look for in your casting?
Well, you always have you have an idea in your head what the character would look like and what they bring to it, and then you look for someone who comes close to that or changes your mind, because really it's just a matter of the chemistry and ability, and then how they fit in the overall look of the show. And I believe the right actor always shows up, and in this case, both of them did. So,
I've been quite impressed with the actors that perform here at Little Fish Theater.
But we're very fortunate. We have an embarrassment of riches, certainly. People who have been working a long time and have honed their craft, and then the availability with a fairly large company, so we have access to some very talented people. But it's an embarrassment of riches. Not everyone's so lucky.
Well, once again, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it quite entertaining. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Richard Perloff. Well, I've been doing the theater for a good 40 years or so. Actor, director. Been working mostly at Little Fish Theater for the last 7-8 years anyway. I played Andrew Wyke, who is the writer of mystery stories. He's a very well-known and successful writer of detective stories, and he's clearly very much of that culture. He's like an encyclopedia of the history of the detective story, and he has created a fictional detective named St. John Lord Merridew, who's the star of all of his books.
I loved your performance. I just loved your performance. Yeah, I've actually seen you in something else before where you played a German Nazi.
Yeah, that's right.
You just seem to be able to actually just transpose yourself into someone else. How do you do that?
You know, I tell you what, and thank you, by the way. For me, it's the quality of the writing. Do you know? I mean, I feel like the writers have done the bulk of my work for me. I mean, I have to make sure that my dialect sounds convincing, but you know, I got a very clear sense of this guy right off the bat. He loves to play games. He loves to have a battle of wits with a worthy adversary. And he just wants to amuse himself all the time.
If one of my viewers decide to come here, what should they expect to see from the play?
Well, surprises. I mean, in this genre, in the thriller genre, the plays live or die based on the quality of the surprises. And this play's got a handful of really good ones. So what I would say is, don't read about the play in advance. Don't read about it. Don't go see one of the movie versions. If you've never seen it or heard of it before, you are the perfect audience for this play.
This play reminded me a lot of the work of Oscar Wilde. He would talk about politics, he would talk about philosophy, he would talk about psychology and characters and famous people. I mean, what do you think about that?
No, that's interesting, I mean, because Andrew, for sure, as a writer, he's a very erudite guy. He's very smart, and he shows it off. And I think that one of the surprises of the play is how very, very clever his adversary turns out to be. That's a very smart young man that he's invited into his home.
Well, once again, I love the performance. I basically think anyone should come by and see it, and it was just beautifully done, beautifully acted also.
Thank you very much, and always appreciate your coming out.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
All right, you got it.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Bryson Jones Allman. I came from Southern Oregon. I was in the Navy for 4 years, went back to Southern Oregon for a year, and have been down here since '04. I went to the Los Angeles City College Theater Academy for 3 years. Brilliant program there, and I've been busy acting ever since. I've done 7 years now with Shakespeare by the Sea, and this is actually my first year working with Little Fish, but my third show this year, so it's going good. I played Milo Tyndall. Milo Tyndall is this, he's the son of an Italian immigrant and a farmer's daughter, so he's sort of street kid, and he's in love with this guy's wife.
I love the performance. I loved the acting of both the stars. I mean, they were fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, working with someone like Richard, I saw him in Time Stands Still, and I've wanted to work with him ever since because he's brilliant. He's just obviously the complete master, and working with Jim, it makes it really easy.
Actually, you're not so bad yourself. I mean, I've seen you a couple of times before, and again, I'm quite impressed with the way you kind of stepped into the character and all that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. It's a really great character. The reason I came down to be an actor was because of all these voices that I always did as a kid, and I just sort of heard over and over, you should go to Hollywood. Little did I know that I'd end up doing mostly theater. But it was really narrowing down which guy we wanted this guy to be. Like, how street did we want to make him? So we tried all sorts of things. Like, we tried a real street Cockney, way stripped down, like doesn't sound like he's smart at all. And then like tried some stuff that was a little more heady, a little more like Rupert Everett. Try that sort of smooth thing, and it didn't work at all. It just sort of took the energy right out of everything. And I feel like what we ended up with is this nice blend of those things that, like, he's clearly street, but you can underestimate him, you know?
I love the piece. I'm actually reminded of Oscar Wilde's work because the dialogue talks so much about politics, talks so much about, upper class, lower class, sociology, psychology, a little bit about philosophy too. It was just very impressive in the dialogue.
Yeah, it's a terribly clever script. Everything about it does. It really, the only person to really compare it to is Oscar Wilde because of just how clever it is. And you've got to, that was a lot of work for Richard and I too, is just making those references, making that verbal repartee clear, like making sure that people heard what is written that's so brilliant, those little callbacks, those little throwing words in each other's face and batting them back and forth. It's like that's, a good portion of the work is highlighting those, but not sounding ridiculous, naturally,
Yeah, also, I've always been impressed by the English actors, their wit. But, I've actually interviewed them, and I asked them, what's your secret? They said, actually, if you look at some of the American actors in the theater, they're actually quite witty also. So your timing helped a lot. So, again, did you work on that? I mean, was it challenging?
I think it really is just a matter of working on it. The play, coming off the page, has a very definite tone and rhythm to it. And that's what the rehearsal process is trying everything as far as you can go so you find out exactly how much things don't work. And then it just sort of sifts itself down to this essential thing that, like, that pause was a little too much and it wasn't enough the time before, split the difference, there's the laugh. And it's weird, but it's a lot of trial and error, and also just trusting the text. That, like, if you just plow along in it, it'll tell you where the breaks in the rhythm are, and for the most part, it's just like it's a driving show too. Like it seems to start off a little like, oh, this is going to be calm, and these two guys are just totally after each other.
Once again, I love the performance. I just loved it. I loved the script. I loved both your acting. I really wish my viewers would come by and see it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Sleuth will be playing at Little Fish Theater from March 10th to the 31st. For more information, go to www.littlefishtheater.org.